Before the day gathers speed, let us pause in the quiet of this morning. Some wounds announce themselves. They alter the body, interrupt the schedule, and make their presence known. Others remain hidden, yet quietly shape the way you wake, the way you move, the thoughts you carry, and how much hope you allow yourself to feel. This is not a demand to appear strong, cheerful, or certain. You do not have to improve the story before bringing it to God. Healing prayer begins with honest presence, not performed strength. Maybe you woke with physical pain already waiting for you. Maybe loss has left an empty place no one knows how to enter. Maybe you are living with frightening uncertainty, or an old wound still reacts when new circumstances touch it. What hurts may be visible or invisible, recent or long-standing. Either way, it belongs in this moment. In the prayer ahead, we will ask boldly for healing. We will also make room for timing we cannot predict and outcomes we cannot control. Boldness does not require denial, and surrender does not require silence. So become still, if you can, and bring the hurting place into God's presence without editing it. The pain hidden from others does not have to remain unspoken before Him. Having recognized the wound, what truth have you been afraid, or simply too tired, to say? Maybe the truth is that your body hurts, or illness has changed what an ordinary day requires. Perhaps you are grieving someone, or something precious. Perhaps anxiety keeps sounding an alarm within you. Disappointment has worn down your hope. Betrayal has damaged trust. Loneliness has made the hours feel longer. Or an emotional injury remains unresolved, even though others assume it should be over. Pain may disturb sleep, or drain the energy needed for simple responsibilities. It may make the future feel threatening, concentration difficult, and patience harder to hold. And sometimes the exhaustion comes from explaining the same hurt again and again, hoping someone will understand why it still matters. Not everyone will experience these effects in the same way, but none of them needs to be hidden out of embarrassment. You do not have to compare your suffering with someone else's before you are allowed to acknowledge it. Another person's deeper crisis does not make your wound imaginary. Pain does not have to be the worst pain imaginable to deserve compassion. And lament is not faithlessness. Truthful prayer is a way of bringing your whole self into relationship with God, the frightened self, the disappointed self, the weary self, the part still waiting for relief. Naming what hurts is not surrendering to the pain. It is refusing to carry it alone. So let this be your quiet admission. This is where I hurt, and this is what I need help carrying. You do not need to justify it or make it sound spiritual. Once it is spoken, a deeper question appears. Does God merely observe the wounded heart, or does He draw near enough to tend it? Psalm 147:3 answers that question with a tender assurance. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. These words do not speak of a distant God offering sympathy from afar. They reveal a God who recognizes what has been broken and draws near to care for it. Pause over that image. He binds their wounds. A wound must be noticed before it can be bound. It must be approached, not avoided, handled with care, not dismissed as inconvenient or insignificant. Binding suggests patient attention. It tells us that the wounded place is not repulsive to God, and that your need does not exhaust His compassion. This verse gives real hope, but it does not require us to pretend that every painful feeling will vanish today, or that every physical condition will immediately change. We are not given control over the form or timing of healing, yet we are given a trustworthy picture of the one to whom we bring our pain. His healing work may come through comfort that steadies you, endurance for what remains difficult, wisdom to receive appropriate care, trust rebuilt slowly, strength returning gradually, or relief arriving in a way you did not expect. So return for a moment to the hurt you named, the grief that still catches you. The injury within that has not fully mended. The place that feels fractured is not outside God's attention. It is precisely the place you are bringing beneath His compassionate care. Before you know what will change, you may know this: your wound matters to Him now. But what does that nearness look like when suffering has lasted and the answer has been delayed? Mark 5 brings us into that tension, where long pain, interruption, waiting, and the personal attention of Jesus meet. Mark 5 gives that compassionate attention a human face. The chapter holds several kinds of suffering together: prolonged illness, public vulnerability, urgent fear for a child, an unexpected interruption, painful waiting, and grief. Need presses toward Jesus from more than one direction, and no one approaches him from a place of ease. A woman who has suffered for years reaches through the crowd, hoping simply to touch him. Her hope is bold, but she has no intention of becoming the center of attention. Yet Jesus stops. He will not allow her to leave as an anonymous problem briefly solved. He sees her, addresses her personally, and restores dignity alongside bodily healing. His response reveals that suffering people are not cases to be processed. They are persons worthy of his attention. But while Jesus stops for her, Jairus waits. His family's need is urgent, and every moment matters. He must endure the anguish of watching Jesus attend to someone else while the situation he fears grows worse. That interruption makes this chapter especially tender for anyone who has wondered why help seems delayed, why another person's answer appears to come first, or whether waiting means being forgotten. These accounts give us reason to approach Jesus with courageous hope. They show his compassion, his authority, and his personal regard. But they are not a formula by which we can predict what will happen in a particular body this morning, or when an answer will come. Nor should the woman's earlier suffering be used to dismiss clinicians or responsible treatment. We will pray with room for divine help, wise care, and the people who provide it. The shared reassurance is this: desperation does not make you invisible, and delay does not remove you from Jesus' concern. So how do we ask for healing with confidence in his compassion, while refusing to turn faith into a bargain or a test? We ask boldly, specifically, and with open hands. That posture has 4 movements. First, admit the pain plainly. Tell God where it hurts, what has changed, what has been lost, and what fear now accompanies it. Honesty is not a failure of faith. It is the beginning of a prayer rooted in reality. Second, ask for what you truly desire. Ask for full healing. Ask for relief, a clear diagnosis, effective treatment, restored strength and function, emotional repair, or peace within the uncertainty. Let the request fit the actual need. You do not honor God by making your hope smaller than it is. Third, entrust the outcome to him. This does not mean becoming indifferent or pretending restoration no longer matters. Surrender releases the demand to control the timetable, the method, and the result. It says, "Lord, this is what I deeply desire, and I place what I cannot determine into your care." Desire remains honest, trust remains present, neither must cancel the other. Fourth, receive the grace available for today and take the next faithful step. That grace may sustain you through another difficult hour. The step may be rest, prescribed care, keeping an appointment, asking a needed question, beginning a difficult conversation, or accepting support you would rather not need. Practical action is not a retreat from prayer. It can be one way of responding to guidance. And if symptoms continue, grief remains heavy, or an emotional struggle does not quickly ease, do not interpret that as proof that you prayed badly or lacked sufficient faith. A delayed or uncertain outcome is not a verdict against you. Now we can move from understanding these 4 movements to living them. Bring one specific hurting place to mind. You do not need to solve it before you speak. You only need to come honestly, ask courageously, release what you cannot control, and receive enough help for the next faithful step. Take a slower breath, as your body allows. You do not need to kneel or stand. You do not need to ignore pain, weakness, dizziness, or fatigue to prove that you are ready. Sit, lie down, or remain exactly where you are. God's welcome does not depend on a perfect posture. If it is safe and comforting, place a hand near the area that hurts. If touch is painful or the wound cannot be located, simply hold the need in your mind. Let these words become your own. God, I come as I am. You already know what hurts, and I will not hide it from you. I bring you my actual condition, not the version of me I wish I could present. Help me remain honest, receptive, and unashamed as I pray. Thank you for the compassionate attention revealed in Psalm 147-3, where you draw near to the brokenhearted and tend their wounds. Thank you for the personal regard of Jesus in Mark 5. for the way he sees suffering people and does not reduce them to their need. I do not claim in advance what you will do or when you will do it. I trust that I am seen as I ask. Now, Lord, meet me in physical pain, illness, grief, and emotional wounds. Guide those involved in my care, and give me sustaining grace. I begin with my body and place its needs before you. Lord, meet me in the precise place where my body is hurting. You know every sensation I can describe and every change I do not understand. You know the weakness, the inflammation, the limitation, the fatigue, and the symptoms that frighten me. I will not pretend to know their cause, but I ask you boldly, bring healing, bring relief, and restore what has been diminished. Where there is pain, ease it. Where there is weakness, renew strength. Where there is exhaustion, grant deep and restful sleep. Where there is uncertainty, provide clear answers. Where treatment is needed, let it be wise, accessible, and effective. Where movement or function has been limited, help me receive each measure of restoration with gratitude and each necessary accommodation without shame. Be near to those awaiting test results, beginning treatment, or preparing for a procedure. Sustain those adapting to disability, managing a chronic condition, or living with symptoms others cannot see. In every different circumstance, let each person know that their suffering is worthy of attention and that needing help does not lessen their dignity. Give me wisdom for the choices before me. Show me when to rest and when to seek further care. Help me know what questions to ask, what changes to report, and how to follow sound treatment without being ruled by fear. Give me courage to receive assistance, patience with processes that take time, and discernment when another opinion or additional support may be needed. Protect me from despair when progress is slow or a setback comes. My body's condition matters, but it does not contain the whole truth of who I am. What I can or cannot do today does not determine my worth. Keep limitation from becoming my only name, and keep disappointment from persuading me that hope is no longer allowed. I ask without reservation for healing, in whatever measure you graciously give for relief, renewed function, strength, and wholeness. Yet I leave the timing and form of that healing in your hands. Help me receive care one day at a time, and enough grace for the step immediately before me. And as you attend to my body, turn with compassion toward what physical suffering has stirred within, the grief, fear, memories, and hidden wounds that also need your care. Lord, I name before you what I have lost, the person I miss, the relationship that changed, the future I expected, the ability I once relied upon, the season that ended, or the sense of safety I no longer carry easily. You know the absence as it truly is. Bind the places left raw by grief, betrayal, rejection, disappointment, traumatic memory, and words that still echo long after they were spoken. Be near when mourning begins with anxiety or dread. Meet me when an intrusive recollection pulls yesterday into today, when numbness makes connection difficult, or when appearing fine requires more strength than I have. Quiet the alarm within me, but do not shame me for feeling it. Help me recognize what needs comfort, what needs protection, and what needs the patient attention of wise care. I do not ask you to erase my past or make me forget what mattered. I ask that painful memories lose their power to govern the present. Let truth grow around what confusion has distorted. Let safety grow where fear has taken hold. Let peace grow without demanding that I hurry. Let connection return at a pace that honors both courage and wisdom. Receive my tears as prayer. Receive my silence when words will not come. Receive the anger I do not know how to resolve and the questions that remain unanswered. None of these drives you away. Hold them within your mercy and keep me from believing that honest grief is an interruption to healing. Give me courage to seek appropriate pastoral, relational, or professional support. Lead me toward trustworthy people who can listen without minimizing, guide without controlling, and remain present without demanding quick closure. When the burden becomes too heavy to carry privately, help me tell someone clearly that I need support. I give you what I cannot repair by force. I surrender the wound without denying that it is real. I release the demand to heal on another person's schedule. Surround this pain with growing truth, safety, connection, and hope. And now widen my prayer beyond my own heart. to those who care for wounded bodies and weary souls, and to everyone carrying a hidden burden into this same morning. Lord, remember the patient weary of appointments, decisions, expenses, explanations, waiting rooms, and the uncertainty of what comes next. When every choice feels consequential and every conversation demands fresh energy, provide patience, clarity, and courage. Help patients speak honestly with doctors, nurses, therapists, counselors, pastors, family members, and trusted friends. Help them ask what they need to ask, understand what they can, and admit when they need more time or help. Give clinicians and care teams wisdom in each decision, sharpen their attentiveness and skill. Keep them humble before what remains unclear and compassionate toward the person behind every chart, symptom, and treatment plan. Strengthen them for careful work, honest communication, and judgments that protect dignity as well as health. Remember family caregivers and friends who are exhausted, frightened, or unsure what to do. Grant them rest without guilt. Provide others who will share the responsibility. Teach them that faithful love does not require endless strength, and that asking for relief does not mean they have failed. Send practical support where it is needed: transportation, meals, company, advocacy, a listening presence, or help with the next manageable task. Make us attentive enough to notice, humble enough to ask, and dependable enough to remain. Turn my pain into our prayer. Receiving care is not weakness, and offering care does not require perfect words. Sometimes love looks like staying near, completing one small task, or quietly making space for the truth. And for anyone too ill, tired, numb, or overwhelmed to pray, let these words be spoken on their behalf. Hold them when they cannot form a request. Surround them with people who will not disappear when answers are slow. Thank you for every wise hand, patient voice, shared burden, and ordinary act of mercy. Yet even with good care and loving support, healing may take longer than we desire. So prepare my heart now for the grace that sustains hope while I wait. Lord, some of us will finish this prayer with the same symptoms, diagnosis, absence, or unanswered question with which we began. If nothing visible changes this morning, keep us from calling ourselves abandoned. Protect us from believing that prayer has failed, or that suffering proves our faith is deficient. Give us today's portion of grace. Enough courage for the appointment, enough peace for the next hour, enough patience for recovery that cannot be hurried, enough companionship for the next wave of grief. We do not need strength for every imagined tomorrow. Meet us in the time we are actually living. Teach us to notice small mercies, a quieter moment, a kind voice, a little rest, a helpful answer without pretending they make the larger pain small. Gratitude need not deny sorrow. Let both remain honest before you. We continue to ask for every faithful possibility: immediate relief, healing that unfolds gradually, help received through responsible care, restoration within the heart, and deeper endurance for what remains unresolved. Where mystery continues, do not let mystery become distance. Jesus, as in Mark 5, keep us assured of your attention when waiting becomes painful and another answer seems to come first. God who binds the broken-hearted, tend what is wounded with the patient compassion declared in Psalm 147:3. Our hope is not certainty about a preferred timetable. Our hope is continued relationship with you being seen, accompanied, guided, and sustained. Grace for this road is not a lesser gift. It is real help while healing is still being sought. Lead us now into one faithful day, one honest choice, and one manageable step, knowing we do not carry the wound alone. Lord, thank you for hearing every request we have spoken, every ache held in silence, every tear, and every sentence that ended before we found the words. We do not claim to see the answer already. We simply trust that nothing offered here has escaped your compassionate attention. The wound may still hurt as this day begins, but it need not enter the hours ahead unnamed, hidden, or born in complete isolation. Let truth accompany us. Let wise care support us. Let loving people come near. May peace meet you in this present moment. May wisdom guide the decisions before you. May courage help you receive care without shame. And may strength be given in proportion to what today actually asks of you. Choose one kind and faithful action. Keep the appointment, Rest without guilt. Follow the care that is appropriate for you. Contact someone trustworthy, accept practical help, or offer gentle compassion to another person who is hurting. You do not have to do all of them. One step is enough for now. If you would like others to pray with you, you may share a request with this community. Give only what feels safe. No details are required, and silence is welcome too. God of mercy, lead us forward with honest pain, needed support, and hope rooted in your presence, not in a promised outcome, but in the assurance that we are not abandoned. Amen.